Fiction, which is already becoming a reality. How to open the green door to the future. The net profit of a clear country, and it is possible to prevent global warming. Alternative energy sources, unique technologies, and what you never knew existed. Live science, watch it now.
What is it? She touched his wrist. Generator. I do not understand. Well, for example, when I'm nervous or I'm solving a difficult problem or just enjoying music, I generate the energy that this device accumulates. It was built right after my birth. I do not understand. Well, that's how you get vaccinated. You see, there in the future everything is different. Love beyond the bounds of time. Max Dari. In today's program, the energy of courage.
The Expo? I like it, it's nice.
Touch the future. International project called ITER. Its purpose is to build the world's largest Tokamak, no less but a revolution. The 21st century exploded with many technologies, and the same revolution, in my opinion, can be observed in the electric power industry. And emptiness in the appendage. Nature does not have an empty rock. Lunar landscapes, extraterrestrial civilizations, how to save energy, who will save the planet, and what is Tokamak? Energy is in the future. This view is always collected by a large number of spectators. Astana, Expo, Nuralim, third floor. The artist of the British circus, Bijou, works without safety belts, and to get it right, it's necessary to be concentrated and well-trained as possible. Stormy applause, tired artist.
It's very dangerous, I think.
A little bit.
Rodrigo Gomez, of course, exaggerates. This is a unique number. It is considered one of the most dangerous. Centrifugal force, kinetic energy, the energy of man himself, and the lamp has already turned on. This presentation clearly shows that any person can provide himself with energy, says Rodrigo.
The Expo? I like it, it's nice. I've never worked in an Expo before, this is my first time here. Expo and first time in Kazakhstan, Astana.
Man, in principle, an infinite source of infinite energy. The energy that our body consists of is analogous to that of which the bricks are made, of which the house or environment in which we live is built. The seventh sky of the Kazakhstan pavilion is just a space. Galaxies are born, the universe bewitches with the dance of the constellations. Energy is everywhere. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be transformed. And even if you were not taken into the astronauts, you can still be a little Neil Armstrong and walk along the lunar surface, immediately noting that it is crowded there. Well, again, this is the city of lunar immigrants, which will appear in a couple of decades according to optimistic forecasts of scientists. It is known that the energy potential of the moon is very high. Analysis of the lunar soil revealed the presence of minerals in it. Iron, titanium, aluminum, magnesium, sulfur, potassium, sodium, and also helium-3, a rare element for the Earth. It can be used as fuel in thermonuclear reactors. And not returning from heaven to Earth. Here on the 7th floor of the Nuralim Pavilion, you can find out that people plan to use the energy of space in the future. For example, industrial development of asteroids. By the end of the 21st century, these cosmic bodies will become a valuable source of natural resources, all because they contain a huge number of elements that are extremely rare on Earth. So it is written, visitors read it and get surprised. In order to develop these resources, it will be necessary to detain asteroids, redirect them to a safe near-Moon orbit. And in general, alien contact is not that far off. Presumably, somewhere in the region of the constellation Cygnus, strange changes in brightness has long been noted. This can be light signals of aliens. Back in 1969, the English theoretical physicist and mathematician Freeman Dyson put forward the hypothesis that advanced alien civilizations have long suited their electricity needs using the energy of their own star. And they are about to share their experience with us. An alien thermonuclear reactor. We also have it always above our heads. This is the sun. And this is also a thermonuclear reactor, only on Earth. Tokamak, toroidal chamber with magnetic coils, installation to hold plasma for thermonuclear fusion, managed. And this device gives you an idea of what plasma is. This device is called a plasma lamp. You hold your hand, electricity flows through it. You are connected with a person that stands nearby, and he slightly gets beaten with the current. For those who got an idea of plasma, it's time to talk about the Tokamak. The very first appeared in 1954. The idea was suggested by academician Oleg Lavrentiev, finalized by Andrei Sakharov and Igor Tam. Tokamak was created in 1950 by Soviet scientists, and there are more than 300 Tokamaks throughout the world. Scientists say that this is the most promising direction of the future. Thermonuclear synthesis doesn't require a lot of fuel, but the safety is quite high. It is assumed that in the near future, a Tokamak of the future will be built. International project called ITER, its purpose is to build the world's largest Tokamak in the south of France. The height of the Super Tokamak is 73 meters, 60 of which will be above the ground. For comparison, the height of the pyramid, the Palace of Peace and Reconciliation, is just 60 meters. 42 hectares, this will be the main platform of the reactor. It's about 60 football fields. Kazakhstan plays a big role in this project. We built our own material Tokamak in the city of Kurchatov, East Kazakhstan region. It is material-based because we test different materials that can withstand high temperatures in nuclear fusion. And the temperature is about 150 million degrees Celsius. This is the temperature of the sun for comparison. None of the Earth's materials can withstand such a temperature. And Tokamak, as it turns out, can. Its vacuum chamber is surrounded by superconducting electromagnets which do not allow hot plasma to touch the walls. Presumably, the results of the joint international project will be available by 2030. Well, it is possible to touch the future now. Combine ecology and energy in the Russian pavilion, a piece of the real Arctic iceberg, and it does not melt thanks to special technologies. Having touched it, you can leave your mark in the touch of the Arctic. Many people do. Rare species of animals with which you can even talk, and a floating nuclear power plant named after academician Lomonosov. It is the only one in the world that can provide a whole city with a population of over 20,000 people. The energy of the Arctic, the energy of growth, the energy of life. According to Russian scientists, at this stage of human development in the energy sector, it is expected, no less, but a revolution. Usually, everything always happens in the world for centuries. The 19th century is the age of steam. 20th century, electricity. And 21st exploded at once by many technologies. And the same revolution, in my opinion, can be observed in the electric power industry. Electric power today is different than we say 10 years ago, scientists say. One of the main problems is that there are no super powerful drives yet.
There's around 160 gigawatts of such capacity worldwide, and there are significant plans to double that capacity. So for some time, pumped hydro will remain the main storage option, but there is a new storage option emerging, and that is battery electric storage. Today there's around 2 gigawatts of battery storage worldwide.
Creation of a global superelectricity network is already a matter of the near future, as they said in Astana at the Congress of Scientists. Such a super network allows you to not only transfer what is important, but the most important thing is to ensure a stable and reliable energy supply with the amount of energy that is needed throughout inter-country exchange. In this network, embeddings are possible. One of them is along the Great Silk Road. The loss of electricity will be minimal, experts say. Now they lose energy for hours. They will be just minutes. Huge costs in the energy of today are spent on transportation and storage of energy. According to some estimates, the bigger the country, the higher the cost. And the paradox of today's world is that the main centers of energy consumption are very far from the production centers. While the transportation is a complex global issue of geopolitical forces, the alignment of the economy and the global economy.
And energy efficiency and renewable energy are the two pillars of that energy transition. So we have to make it happen in the next 35 years.
To treat everything with diligence. This was discussed at the forums and congresses within the framework of Astana Expo. Non-renewable energy sources, oil, gas, coal, so long as mankind does not manage without them. So you need to learn how to protect them. What was created billions of years in the bowels of the earth, mankind has managed to use in only 1 century. Naturally, we face the inevitable question of improving the efficiency of use. If we now extract all the richest ores, we will not leave anything to the descendants for the future. We will leave problems because poor and difficult to digest ore will be extremely difficult to enrich due to high operating costs and high capital costs. And it is necessary not just to create technology, we need to build processing complexes, says Kazakhstani academician Alexander Danilenko. I dedicate my report to my Minister of Non-Ferrous Metallurgy of the Kazakh SSR, Sauk Takizhanov, who said 20 years ago that nature does not have an empty rock. We engineers must extract those metals, those components that nature has given us. The proposal of Kazakhstani scientists is the processing of ores exclusively by a complex method that will allow to extract all the metals that are there. And all the rocks that remain after processing must also be used. Engineers must ensure in this case, and the business should strive for this, not just take away metals that give quick income and so on. We must think about the people of Kazakhstan, about our future descendants. Think about future descendants and how to provide them with energy without harming the planet. It was difficult for a man 10,000 years ago. He did not yet know how to use electricity, while it always existed. And not only around us, but also inside. Each of us is a kind of mini power station, some little more than a mini. And it's not about the fact that when one moved his hand or his leg, he lit a light bulb. This energy is kinetic. The main thing is to be a conductor, and we know that man is also a conductor of current. And again, according to a new meter of alternative energy, a mobile phone, the electricity that a person generates is quite enough to recharge the latter. That's what science claims. With regard to technologies that allow free generation of electricity, they began to be developed 2 or 3 centuries ago, but didn't acquire a full development. For the first time, scientists became interested and tried to explain the nature of this phenomenon in the 18th century. According to the story, after an amusing incident with a French delicacy, frog paws. The wife of Professor Galvati intended to buy them. She saw that a foot of a frog began to twitch from the touch of an iron knife. An evil force, decided Madame Galvati. But her husband, a professor after the event, published a scientific paper, treatises on the power of electricity in muscle movement. And for the first time, he told the whole world, there is electricity in each of us, and our nerves are original electric wires. Well, in order to conduct a current in the conductor, there must be a potential energy. This is what we call the source, EMF, the energy characteristic of the source. But not all sources and not all materials conduct current. There must be free charged particles. And yet, how does it work? A person can generate electricity thanks to the numerous biochemical processes that are carried out at the cellular level. Inside each of us, oxygen, sodium, calcium, a lot of chemical components. They each step into a reaction and produce electrical energy. Probably now there will be some kind of a turning point in the person's consciousness when he realizes that even he himself is capable of generating energy. For example, we breathe and the cells of our body also breathe. As a result, the cell releases energy derived from water, carbon dioxide, and other. Energy, in turn, is deposited in special chemical compounds and used as needed. And the whole process is quite suitable for the work of a flashlight. So, from one breath, you can get 1 watt, breathed in 100 times, turned on the light bulb. The great Soviet physicist Lev Landau once said that the greatness of man is that he is now able to comprehend things that he cannot even imagine. The main thing is to learn how to transfer energy not just into the surrounding atmosphere, but where it is necessary. And above this, where necessary, scientists work. For the most part, successfully, from the achievements attainable is the use of the human body energy for pacemakers. But all projects are still under development. I believe that every discovery should lie down and should be in demand in due time. And now such time has come. This is the power of science, that without denying the previous one, a new reality incorporates old elements, creating an even richer, more diverse and colorful technological picture. Human thought is the engine of the energy of the future, one of the main themes of the exhibition Expo 2017, presented in many pavilions. Here, for example, Holland. At the entrance, a colorful spectacle, visitors are greeted by acrobats on stilts. A little communication, and think about the main thing. In the Dutch pavilion, there are 3 thematic zones, and everything about the thought process. So they are called to study thinking, to feel thinking, to share thinking. Representation in the theater of energy of life, the spirit of innovation and inspiration from the past, the U.S. Pavilion. Here, according to the organizers, they demonstrate the triumph of the infinite energy of mankind, and each person separately. Why not? Here it is, the triumph of the universal mind. How can my head spin? Hold on tight, another pavilion. There you can see Astana's future. If you look down, then you will feel dizzy. You will feel as if you were flying for real. And you're in the future in Astana.
Вы получаете такое ощущение, как будто бы вы летаете реально, и вы находитесь в будущем, как бы в Астане.
How to master a new area of alternative energy. There can be an incredible amount of solutions, and still, the most important energy of the future, it's, beyond a doubt, a person himself.